Well, welcome everybody. I am Chris.
I'm Miriam.
And today we're going to be talking about all things flavors. How flavors get retired, what it takes for something to be a permanent flavor, just everything flavors.
So please go ahead and place your flavor wants in the comments because we want to know what you want for Keto Chow.
First things first, we have a Facebook support group where people are able to reach out to each other, ask questions, and we're constantly
Monitoring it.
Thank you. We're constantly monitoring that to get input from our customers, let people know what's going on, and answer their questions.
Right.
And fairly frequently, we get questions about flavors, like, hey, have you guys ever thought about doing such and such flavor?
Right.
I have a flavor suggestion. When will you bring back this flavor that I loved? Or I just started Keto Chow. I haven't even had a chance to try flavor X.
Right.
And I'd like to be able to do that. So let's talk a little bit about flavors and, well, for instance, let's talk about how flavors get created. For example, we just reintroduced the strawberry cream and the vanilla cream. There was a question on our Keto Chow subreddit where someone was asking about it.
Yeah.
And I looked up some information. Turns out I actually requested the flavor that would become vanilla cream
Yeah.
in March of 2021.
Wow.
So
That
three
is
years
crazy.
ago, as of the recording of this video.
Right.
It took a while to get to us.
Right.
Then
And
had
then
to
we
test
didn't develop it for a while still.
That
so
one
it
was, yeah.
It normally isn't quite that long
Correct.
because we're like, this is a good idea for another time.
And yeah, and other flavors came along, and we prioritized those instead.
Right.
The vanilla cream and strawberry cream, we always intended them to be a replacement for the vanilla
Yeah.
and the strawberry, just because they tasted better. And there were some people who were like, hey, I like all of your flavors, but the vanilla's kind of meh.
Yeah.
And the
which
strawberry,
we agreed.
yeah,
It was kind of meh.
it formed a good base because
Yeah.
people could add different flavors to it.
Yeah.
They could turn it into whatever they wanted. Like someone's like, hey, I want a peppermint flavor.
Right.
Great. Take the vanilla, add peppermint, you got it.
Another thing to note is that part of the reason why we didn't develop that right away after we got it, we tasted it, we're like, oh, this would be great instead of vanilla and strawberry, the two creams, because we had a lot of inventory of those things. And so we're like, we knew we could maybe wait a little bit. We decided we didn't have to develop them right away. But yeah, it's just it's interesting how, each flavor kind of has their own story.
And other flavors were created by, like for instance, Two Crazy Ketos have made a number of flavors. Steve Clementson, Serious Keto, made
Yep.
recently the baked potato and the cream of mushroom.
Yeah, and it's been really fun to work with different people and just kind of see where their mind goes creatively. And also, I guess it feels good to have a little pat on the back when they say, oh, this is kind of a pain.
Yeah, but now we get to an important point that not all flavors are a hit.
Right?
So let's take, for example, the peaches and cream. I love the peaches and cream.
Yeah, I do too.
I literally today have a bottle of peaches and cream because we found an old bag of it.
It's not old.
Okay, well, it's like I mixed up some. I really enjoy the peaches and cream. It's one of my favorite flavors, but it tastes more like the peach candy O's. And for some people, that was too floral of a flavor.
Yeah, and it kind of has it's more like an artificial peach than like a peach you pulled off a tree.
Yes. And again, not every flavor is going to be a big hit. And we thought that the peaches and cream was actually going to be more popular than it was.
Yeah.
And it turned out to not sell very well. So what we tend to do is...
Give it the axe.
Yeah, we gave that one the axe. And since then, whenever a new flavor comes out, we will always introduce it in the single serve packets first, the individual single meals.
Yep, and it will be marked as limited edition. So anytime you look on the website, which we can probably put up a screen right now, anytime you look at the website, you'll see it says limited edition. That really means limited edition. That's a time where this flavor is being tested to see if you like it, and if you like it, then you buy it, and that's great. Then we can visit if we're going to keep it. But if it's not marked as limited edition, that means it's staying.
Yep.
So you'll have to take note of that on the website.
So when we come out with a limited edition, we try to have a reasonable quantity
Right.
that will sell in a reasonable amount of time. We don't want it to last months and months and months. We want to see how well it sells. If it sells extremely well, for example, the blueberry pie, introduced that. It just
flew
went
off
crazy.
the shelves in an hour. Woo!
Yeah. And now some of that was we were not able to get as much of an inventory of that when we first introduced it
Right.
as we would have liked. But since then, we've been able to solve some of those problems. So, for example, the butterscotch. Got a good amount of that. It sold really well. When something sells extremely well, we will try to work on getting it restocked as soon as we can. That can take anywhere from 2 to 9 months.
It's crazy how we just don't know how long it'll take because the manufacturer has a bunch of other companies they're working for. We can't just be like, I need this right now.
Look, buddy.
They actually do work really well with us, and if we have something that's pressing, we'll say this is really important, and they'll try to put us at the beginning of the line if we can. But also, our other products are in line too. So then we have to bump something else that we're already waiting for to make sure our product's at the front of the line. So that's just something, that's why it's 2 to 9 months. It could be typically 2 months would be ideal and easy. If we don't have anything in the queue, then it probably would work out that way. But we're always trying to make sure we keep everything in stock that we do have as permanent flavors so that it's always accessible.
Well, and for instance, you don't mess with chocolate.
Yeah.
Or chocolate peanut butter.
Don't mess with chocolate.
And we, every 6 months or so, we publish a popularity thing. It shows what percentage of our sales are any given flavor. Now, the issue is we have a lot of flavors right now.
Right.
And so it spreads them out over all of those flavors. But you don't mess with chocolate or chocolate peanut butter. And they are our number one flavors for a reason. They're fantastic.
So good.
The chocolate tastes like the best hot chocolate I've ever had. And chocolate peanut butter just adds that extra.
So good.
And you can mix them up and then have them hot or make them into ice cream, and they're just really good. But because we have so many flavors, because some flavors come, some flavors go, some are limited edition, we do actually have a flavor status webpage where it just lists out all the flavors that we've ever had and what their status is, whether they are available in the individual packets, whether they are available in the large bags for people to buy in bulk. And that's something else that we kind of missed touching on. Flavors first come out in the single packets.
Right.
If they do really well, we'll usually bring them back in the single packets. And if they continue doing well and they hit a certain sales amount, and we don't share that amount, but there is a criteria.
Yeah. Has to meet the criteria.
If something sells this number of meals, then we're going to bring it back in the large bags.
Yeah.
And if you have a favorite flavor, well, of course, please tell us down below in the comments what your favorite flavor is. And if it's not available in the large bags, we are more than happy to hear you tell us that you want it back in the big bags. And we do listen to that.
Tell us right here in the comments of this video.
But the king is how well it sells.
Yep.
If something sells extremely well, then we bring it back. If something isn't selling extremely well, like root beer float. Poor root beer float. I'm such a root beer junkie. And I used to live in South America for a while, and they don't like root beer.
Yeah.
They actually think that it tastes like medicine.
It's because their medicine is root beer flavored.
Yes.
Yes. And that's why I don't like grape, because medicine.
That's
I didn't like grape when I was a kid, and it was gross. And so now I don't like it because it was medicine.
So we had a root beer float, and for a long time it was available year-round. All of our flavors were available year-round, including things like eggnog and pumpkin spice caramel. But as time went on, the patterns of the sales really made it clear that things like eggnog don't sell in the summer.
Yep.
There are people who love it, and that's great.
Including Chris.
Including me.
And that's what we make chaffles out of.
Yeah.
Eggnog and snickerdoodle.
But they just do not sell well during the summertime. And then root beer didn't sell well during the wintertime.
Right.
So we made them more seasonal flavors. Now we're calling that limited edition, actually. But the root beer float, its sales kept dropping and dropping as we introduced other flavors that people liked better. And it was like, well, we looked at the sales and we decided that it would be better to focus on other flavors that
Yep.
people were liking more
Yeah.
and retire root beer float.
Sad.
Now the question has come up, are we ever going to bring back retired flavors?
Yeah, I think we could because we already have the recipe, the flavors developed. If we feel like it, we might just bring one in for a season just for fun. So, yeah, we could do that. And also let us know what your favorite discontinued product
Are
is.
you crazy for the grape?
Because that's gross.
Was guava grapefruit
Sorry.
so good? Did you love the black licorice?
Or
kind?
s'mores.
I love the black
Also, I
licorice,
didn't
actually.
love s'mores
Yeah,
very
well,
much.
you don't like marshmallows.
I like a marshmallow. Like
You
a
don't like to
marshmallow.
drink a marshmallow? We haven't ever brought back a flavor yet,
But we can.
but we can. And a lot of the discontinuation of flavors is kind of new. It's something that we've been hesitant to do. We're just kind of starting the process of retiring flavors and bringing others back if that's appropriate. I'm not ruling it out. And just so you know, I'm on board for bringing back red licorice.
Yeah, he is.
The problem is, in order to get a reasonable quantity, we have to order a lot. Like, the amount that we have to order, if it was chocolate, it would sell out in like a week or two. If it was black licorice, it would take 6 to 9 months, maybe longer. So as our company has grown, the amount that we have to order with each flavor, each limited edition, has actually grown as well.
Hey, do you mind if we answer? We have a couple of customer questions.
Yes, but first I need to do a hot mic moment and go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Marilyn says Keto Chow made the impossible very possible. Woo! Potato really tastes like potato, minus the carbs. Now, this is a special request. How about you work your magic and give us a Keto Chow corn flavor? Imagine the possibilities, sweet and savory. Looking forward to this.
That's a really good question. I've publicly stated multiple times, and I'm going to say it again. I personally am not going to develop any more savory flavors. We had Serious Keto do the baked potato and the cream of mushroom soup,
Yeah.
which I think are fantastic. The reason why I said I'm not going to make any more savory flavors is
Yeah.
because we have the beef soup base,
Right.
which is, it's actually the same thing as the Keto Chow core, which is a beef protein. It doesn't have any flavor and it doesn't have any sweetener. It's all the stuff that makes Keto Chow without flavor and sweetener.
Yeah, it is the beef protein though, so
Yes.
it's dairy free. So if you don't like that, you could use like the chicken soup.
Savory chicken soup would also
Yeah.
work really well for something like a corn flavor.
Yeah.
In which case, my recommendation, if you want something like that, because I think the corn would be really interesting to do.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to sell very well.
Yeah. And it's really fun that we've been doing this for a while. We can kind of just guesstimate if it would sell.
Yeah.
The problem is when we think it's going to sell and then it doesn't.
Yeah, for something that you want to make kind of just hey, this is your own weird flavor that you want to do.
Right.
Using the beef soup base or the savory chicken soup, and those would work really well. And one-on-one flavors has a good corn
Yeah.
flavor.
There are quite a few like extracts that you can use. And what's nice is you can put as much or as little as you want because some people will want it more flavored than what we would provide. Because we tend to make Keto Chow like on the milder side.
How many flavors of Keto Chow might we release in, say, a year?
Okay, that is a good question. And I can answer you. Honestly, we never know. We're just kind of doing whatever we want. And so some years we've released a lot and some years we've released less. We will always have a release or two in a year or more, probably more, just because it's fun. It's fun to do different flavors. It's fun to, do different things. But I just want to let you know, if you want to know about that, sign up for our email list. We can put a link to that in the bottom because we will let you know email and text message probably first whenever we have a flavor release, and then you'll be able to be the first to know. So that's always really fun.
And in fact, the bottom of every page on our website has a place where they can sign up both for emails and for text messages.
Okay, so you could do it by the link, or you could just go to the bottom of the website and do that.
But yeah, we're just kind of doing whatever we like.
Yep, we really are. And it would be really fun to have like a cadence and be like, okay, every 4 months or every whatever, like we release a flavor. It would be fun, but it's also really fun to be impulsive and sporadic. And I don't know if you guys know anything about me, but that's like my favorite thing.
How do people find out in advance if a flavor is going to be released or if something is coming back? Like, how much notice do people get about new product releases?
Okay, that's a good question too. So if a flavor is coming back, there's actually a little sign up on the flavor page. So if you go to, say, orange cream, for instance, and it says out of stock, you can just go to, there's a little section that says, email me when this is in stock. Yeah. And that actually is connected to the specific page and that flavor. So you're not going to get other weird emails. You're just going to get, hey, orange cream was restocked. And it literally will tell you when we put it in the computer. So if we put it in the computer wrong, you will get an email that says orange cream is restocked.
Yeah, in fact, it doesn't notify unless 200 get put in stock.
Okay, just in case we mess up.
Every once in a while, one shows up out of the blue.
I'm like,
and
what?
Like, oh.
That's not right.
And then people would get notified.
Yeah, so that's a really good way to let you know when the flavors are coming back in. Like I said, email is just really nice for us to be able to communicate to you. So be sure to sign up for the email.
Yeah,
and then
advance notice.
Advance notice for like flavor launches. Mm-hmm. We just don't do that very often. And I know that's kind of sad, but yeah, it's going to be an email if it is.
One thing that we like to do is we like to under promise and over deliver.
Mm-hmm.
We have so many variables that go into the product as far as when stuff's going to be available.
Yeah.
It's genuinely hard for us to predict when something's going to be in stock.
Yeah.
We might think that something's going to be here for Thanksgiving and it's not actually available until mid-February.
Right.
Or, something like that. So whenever we have the stuff ready to go and it's actually on the shelf, it's been tested. It doesn't taste weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been tested a few times.
It's been tested. It is certified, ready to go.
Certifiable.
That's when we make the announcement and let everybody know. And so everybody learns it at the same time, but you can order it that day.
Yeah. So when you know it's available. We have some things in the works that we may be able to do some more tweaking, and we'll let you know in the future if it becomes available. But right now, this is how it is.
That's also why we don't do pre-orders.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out credit card companies don't like it if you charge someone and then don't ship for 30 days. Yeah. They get really upset.
That's a mess.
So anyway, that's why we don't do pre-orders. We don't let you know ahead of time. It's when it's available, you can buy it right then.
Right.
Well, thanks so much for joining us. We had a lot of fun talking about all the flavors because we have so many.
And isn't this setup so cute? I love it so much.
All right.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Have a great day. Remember, you are important and you're worth the work.
And if you have any questions you'd like us to address in a future segment like this, pop them into the comments down below and we'd be happy to answer those.
And don't forget to write in the comments what your favorite flavor is.
Yes, and which flavor you want us to bring back.
Or bring it all.
Introduce,
Bring it all.
Bring it all.
Bring it all.
Bye, guys.
Bye.